Um, Good morning. You're here and online. Morning. All right. So today, what you want to take a look at today, I just want a quick review on what we did so far, right? So far, we looked at parameters for an AP and for GP. We said the parameters for an AP are the first term and common difference. And this is generally how the sequence will look, right? Then you have for GP, this is generally how the sequence will look. Okay, this is the general term to find any one of the terms in an AP. This is to find any terms in a GP. Any term in a GP. And last class, we looked at finding the sum of the first n terms. For an AP, we use this formula and this formula. Today, we're going to use these two formulas here for GP. All right? And for GP, the reason you have two different formulas is when R is less than 1, you use this version here. When R is bigger than 1, you use the version underneath. Right? Ignore this for now. We'll do this later on. Okay? So for those who know today's the first class like Vinay, right? Just do me a favor and screenshot this. Right? And today we're moving on to the sum of the first n terms for GP. So head up that. Some of the first n terms for GP and write down these two formulae here. Okay, so right. So once you figure out it's an AP or GP, you have to use one of these formula here for the sum to the n, right? So let's try an example. Anybody writing online? Right? Anna, you're here, right? Yeah? Okay. All right, nice. So let's take a look at how we apply the formulas. It's just, as you'll see here, it's just to plug in A, R, and N. Right? What's important is just identify if R is less than 1 or if R is more than 1. Okay, those are the things that you have to look for, right? All right, so let's go to try an example. Again, it's for GP now. Right, so for GP, A is equal to 2 and R is equal to 3. Let's see if we could find the sum of the first 6 terms. So you want to find S6. So the first thing you'll look at is you'll recognize that R is more than 1. So therefore, we are going to use S to the n is A by R to the n minus 1 all over R minus 1. Okay? So plug in all your values. This will be S6 is equal to 2 by R, which is 3, right? 3 to the 6 minus 1 all over 3 all over 3 minus 1. Right? Put in the calculator exactly like that with brackets and tell me how much you get. Right? Just like that. With brackets and everything, right? Yeah. Income as yet. Well, I could go ahead and just finish your write-ups. And what you get? 484.19. Sure. Sure, people get 700. Check it out. 7 something. 728 here. I seen 728 as the most popular value. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Everybody got this? Message your answers, please. Tishon, you got this? So, what you can do is you can work out the top first. 3 to the power of 6. Like this. And then divided by 2 separately. All separate, right? Like if I bracket around the top and then a bracket around the bottom. Right? So that's basically how you use the formula, right? As practice, find one more. Find S10. Right? Just as a little practice. Find S10. Right? So just plug in a different value, right? 2 by 3 to the 10 minus 1 all over 3 minus 1. right? And most people got 59,048. Correct? Yeah? Okay, so good. So that just to give us an idea of how to use this, right? Anybody confused online? Everybody okay? All right. Let's go again. Um, let's combine everything that we did. Right, find the sum. So I am not telling you it's an AP of GP, right? You have to figure it out and then find the sum of the first 10 terms of 1/8, 1/4, 1/2. So you have to figure out if it's an AP of GP. And then find the sum of the first 10 terms. You have the math summary. You have the math summary. I gave them the formulas for the GP today. So I think you can just give him the formula so he will know what to do. Right? Is it an AP of GP? Is it an AP of GP, Emirates? Correct, Chloe. You sure, Emirates? You all sure? So remember to determine if it's an AP or GP, check D, right? So take 1/4 minus 1/8. And then take a half and minus a quarter. Are you getting the same value? Are you getting the same value? Right? A quarter minus a 8 is 1/8, right? Here's a quarter. So therefore, not an AP. So check for GP now. Divide a quarter by the term before it, and you will get 2. Take a half divided by the term before it, and you'll get 2. So therefore, it's a GP. Right? We know what A is, and we know that R is 2. Use the right formula and work it out, right? Aiden, Emirates, are you okay now? So remember, you have to check the 2 terms, right? Right? Now we know it's a GP, find the sum. All right, so let's see what you got. Sum of the first 10 terms is equal to A, remember R is more than 1, so it's R to the n minus 1 over R minus 1. A is 1/8, R is 2, and this is 10 minus 1. How much you all got? 127 and 7/8. Nice. Very good. Okay, so that's the way you work out sum, right? Let's try one more before I give you the last thing that we need to know about APs and GPs. Right, again, I'm combining everything that we did last day as well, right? All right, so I'm gonna give you one like what we did last day, right? So right, for GP, I am going to give you the third term, right? The third term is 9, and the fifth term is 1. I would like you to find some of the first 6 terms, right? What are the first 2 things I need to get? Right? What are the first 2 things you need to get, Elizabeth, before you even try to find S6? Right, very good. Find A and R, right? Right? So find A and R, do your usual solving simultaneous, and then find for S6. Yeah, T5. That's the fifth term and the third term. So what is it too high above? So what is it too high above for me to see? Oh, well, try to make your screen a little bit smaller now. T5 is 1. the lab. Enter. I just go and check out your A and R and make sure it's okay, right? So remember, T3 is AR squared. T5 is AR to the fourth. Right? As I showed you before, you could just divide them and you will get the A's will cancel and you will get R to the minus 2 is equal to 9. Okay? Which is like 1 on R squared, right? Is equal to 9. You could cross multiply just to make it look a little nice. So you'll get R squared is equal to 1 on 9 if you cross multiply and flip it over. So R is the square root of 1 on 9. R is 1 on 3. One thing I want you all to remember though is that R is plus and minus 1 on 3. Okay? R could be either of the values, plus and minus 1 on 3. Whenever you find the square root of a value, it could be the plus or the minus of it. Okay? But for now, just stick with R is 1/3. Okay? Otherwise, to work out both of them. Right? So once you know R as 1/3, you can then solve for A. Anybody got R as 1/3? Yeah? Go ahead, solve for A, and then find S6. Nice, Jason. All right, I got A to be 9 over R squared. So I got A to be 81. Yeah. So now we can find S6. Remember, R is less than 1, right? So change the formula around. 1 minus R to the n over 1 minus R. Really and truly don't make a difference. If you just use this formula, it will work out still. Right? A is 81, as I said. R is 1/3. N is 6. Check it out, see what you got. All right, so this kind of combines what we did over the past couple of classes, right? What you got? Right, so some of you will recognize how nice a Casio is. You can put it exactly like this. While in a sharp, you have to work out each bracket individually. You have a sharp too. So when you have a sharp, you have to work out the bracket first, and then multiply, and then divide. Or you could just put in a lot of brackets. How much you get Casio, man? How much? 364 over 3. Anybody else got that? 364 over 3. Nice. 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 Nice, nice. Okay. So that's the way you do these calculations for GPs, right? Plenty harder ones, plenty challenging ones to give you, right? But I'll just hold out for now. I want to show you something. Any questions on this, Olia? You all remember how we did this last day, right? So can you re-explain how you got A? Or to get A, right? I know I kind of jumped that there. I use the first equation, AR squared is 9. So if AR squared is 9, it means that A is equal to 9 over R squared. And I put R here. So 9 divided by 1/3 squared is 81. Okay? Nice. Nice, nice. Okay, so good. So here's something I want you to do for me, right? I want you to write the first 5 terms for each one of these. And I want to show you something, right? Right? Write the first 5 terms of an AP, where A is 5 and D is 2. Then write the first 5 terms of a GP, where A is 10 and R is 2. And then write the first of a GP, where A is 4 and R is a half. Actually, let all of them start at 10. So I'll show you what's happening. Morning. right? The first 5 terms for each one, right? Finish? You all remember the concepts. You may have learned this in Form 1 or 2 integrated science, right? There are concepts called convergent, means it coming together at a particular point, and there is something else called divergent, means that it's moving further and further away. All right, so divergent means something moving further and further away. Convergent means that it's coming closer and closer together. So we don't have to send the values. I just want to explain a term here. Well, 2 terms. Convergent and divergent. Finish? Those 5 terms for each one? Yeah. All right, so first 5 terms for the first one, right? Right, so the first term is 10, and then you go to 12, then you go to 14, then you go to 16, then you go to 18, right? And then it keeps going bigger and bigger and bigger, right? You realize that? So then at some point, it will probably reach infinity. Correct? Yeah? Next one, it starts at 10, then you multiply by 2, that's 20, then 40, then 80, then 160. And then if you keep multiplying, at some point, it will reach infinity. Are you okay with that? Anisha, you okay with that? Right? But take a look at the last one. Starts at 1, then it goes to a half, then a half by a half is a quarter, a half by a quarter is an 8, and then 1/16. If I keep multiplying by a half, anybody could tell me what's the value it might come close to? Anybody? Think about it. Multiply, find the 100 term of this GP. Just use a calculator and find the 100 term of this GP. See what the calculator give you. Actually, a real small number, and something by 10 to the minus. Right. So technically, here's what will happen. If you keep multiplying by a half, you will reach a real small number like 0. Could it ever get negative? Can't get negative, right? It will just get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it probably reaches 0. Are you okay with that? Yeah? So what does this say? Well, this says this says a few things. It says that when an AP appears to always be divergent. It means that it always just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger, right? That's okay. It's just gonna keep going away from a particular value, going to infinity. So that means it'll be divergent. A GP, when R is more than 1, appears to also be divergent. That's okay, because it's going to infinity. But when a GP is less than 1, right? When a GP is less than 1, you will when R is less than 1 in a GP, you would recognize that it tending towards a particular value. So it converging to a particular value. So what that means is that a GP, when R is less than 1, well, really and truly, when R is a fraction, so let me be specific. When R is between -1 and 1, you would recognize that a GP conversion. It is going to tend towards a particular value. That's okay? Right? So what that implies now is that anybody could guess. Suppose I say, find sum to infinity here. So find the sum of the first infinite terms. What do you think the answer will be for A? Anybody online could guess? Suppose you add up all these terms here. Add up all these terms. Add up all these terms. What do you think will happen? Anybody guess? What do you think you might get if you add up all those terms? Any guess? No guess? Try and guess, huh? No guess? Online, anybody? If you add up this and add up this and add up this and add up this and add up all the terms until you reach infinity, add up all the terms, what do you think the answer might be? Just a guess. Aidan, Emrit, Elizabeth. Yeah? Correct, Emrit. Emrit said infinity. Okay? Infinity. If you add up everything plus infinity, you should get infinity, right? Same thing for this one here. If you try to find sum to infinity for AP or GP, especially when R is more than 1, then you're going to get infinity. So there's no sense trying to work it out. But if you were to add up this, you will get value, some value, right? So you will get a value. So I went through all of that just to say that, just to say this. For a GP, if R is between 1 and -1, then sum to infinity will exist. And sum to infinity is given by the formula A over 1 minus R. That's it. If I confuse you a little bit, this is what I wanted to learn. Right? For GP, once you have an R value between -1 and 1, sum to infinity will exist. Okay? And that's how you find it. All right? For example, for GP, if A is equal to 10 and R is equal to 1/2, sum to infinity will be 10 over 1 minus 1/2, and you work it out, you'll get 20. Finish? Copy it down? Okay, so nice. So that is sum to infinity concept, right? But when you see find sum to infinity, it will only exist for GP, and R has to be between those values, right? And this nice little formula here is how you find it. Well, okay online there? Annalie? Okay, Megan? Yeah? Okay. All right. Let's try a couple examples, right? Right, example 1. Find sum to infinity in each case. Find sum to infinity here. And find sum to infinity here. Finish? Finish? Okay. So let's check it out. We know A is equal to 2. Because the 2 is a GP, well, we could just go right ahead and right? We could go right ahead and divide them, right? A half divided by 2, which is 1/4. So sum to infinity is equal to A over 1 minus R. Correct? 3/4. So that'll be 3/4. When you flip it up, you'll get 8 on 3. Everybody got that? 8 on 3 for the first one? Yeah? Nice. Next one. A is 16 on 27. R is equal to 8 over 9 divided by 16 over 27. Right? I got, I don't know what I got. 1/6? What shall I get? No, I don't know. I just guess it. How much? 3 on 2. Oh. All right, 9/27 is 3. Yeah, I forget. 3 on 2. So sum to infinity is equal to A over 1 minus 3 on 2, which is how much? Which is a problem. Yeah, and a problem. No sum to infinity. Okay, why? Why no sum to infinity? Because this value outside of the range, right? And I realize that, right? This value is outside of the range, right? The value bigger than 1, so it wouldn't work, right? Okay, nice. Not bad. Let's continue. Any questions online? So you would recognize that B can't work, right? Because that value is bigger, right? Bigger than 1. Let's go again. Right, let's try the other way around now. Here's what I'm doing. I am going to tell you that the sum to infinity is 2 terms. The first term is 1/12. Find R. Find R there. Take your time. It's just rearranging the formula. In Latin. Sorry, online. Sorry about that. Right? I didn't realize I was muted. So I know the formula, and I plugged in sum to infinity, and I plugged in the first term. Then cross multiply and simplify. I reach here. I don't like the fraction, so I multiply everything by 4, and I got this. And then just try to make R the subject of the formula, and you're good to go. Are you okay with that? So that's technically what you will see in an AP and GP question. All right. So what I want to try now is I want to show you like 1 or 2 past papers. Let's see if we could do them. Sometime in the past paper type questions, you'll just get worded problems, like real life problems. And you have to figure out if it's an AP, or it's A, and or it's R. Okay? All right, so let's check out some past papers here. Hold on, I'm gonna just make sure it here, so I'll just send it back. All right, just give me 1 minute. Huh? I have to send it back here. Right, let me just see if I could share it here. And we just take a look at 1 or 2 of the papers, right? Sometimes the way they word it is what's be challenging. All right, so let's start with this fella here. Question said, show is a GP. So in order for us to show is a GP, what do you think we have to show? What do you think we have to show with part 1 to show is a GP? Nathan, what do you think we have to show? What are the parameters for GP? Huh? Yeah. So you have to have a first term, which is simple, and you have to show it has a common ratio. Once you can show A and R, as Tishon said, once you can divide a few terms and show R, remember you can't use one term alone. You have to use at least 2 or 3, right? And show that it has R, then what does that mean? If it has an R, that means it's a GP. Okay, and then you could use that now to find part 2. Try that. Send your answers, right? Tisha, I'm waiting on yours. All right, so let's see how this one went. So the only way we could prove is a GP is I have to do a few. So I'm going to take 1 on 2 to the 4 and divide it by a half. When you do that, you'll get 1 on 2 to the 3, which is 1/8. I have to do it again. 1 on 2 to the 7 divided by 1 on 2 to the 4, which is 1 on 2 to the 3, which is 1/8 again, right? And you can check it one more time to make sure, but you would recognize that R is 1/8, A is equal to half, therefore it must be a GP. Okay? That makes sense? And then they want us to get sum to infinity, which is A over 1 minus R. That's 7/8, so that's 4 and 7, right? So 4 and 7. Nice, positive 4 and 7, right? Right, remember it's 1 minus R, right? Right, good job, Olia. Good job. Right, Megan just check back that value there, right? Okay, let's go again. So here is a question where it's a little bit different to all you would have done. This is where you get the worded part now. Right? So I want you now to try 2012 2C and 2013 2C. You're seeing that? I can't really get much bigger, right? See if we can try those there. Take your time, right? The problem with the worded question is that we don't know if it's an AP of GP. So write out a couple of the terms and see if it's an AP of GP, and then use the right formulas. Right? The first one there is the hardest. Right. Any hope? The second and third should have been easier, right? But let's check out the first one. I want to see what y'all came up with. So a customer pays a loan. A customer repays a loan monthly by increasing the payment each month by X. Okay? So you're adding on X every payment. So what does that sound like? AP or GP? AP. Sounds like an AP. So once you figure out that, then let's see what we have. If the customer repaid $50 on the 5th month and $70 on the 9th month, calculate the total amount repaid by 24th month. So on the 5th month, they repaid 50. On the 9th month, we repaid 70. Right? Now they want the total amount repaid at the end. So my question is, do they want T24 or do they want S24? What do you think? S24, T24. Correct, Renisha? S24. So they want the sum of the 24 terms. So we need N, we have that already. We need A, and we're going to need D. So you're going to have to come back here now and find A and D. Yeah? So it means that T5 is what? T5 is A plus 4D is equal to 50. A plus AD is 70. All right? A plus AD is 70. Subtract, you will get minus 4D is minus 20. So I got D to be 5 and I got A to be 30. Everybody get that? Nice. So I'll get you with the hard one then. I was a little worried. Some will get you. Right, but you'll see the problem with the word questions. They don't tell you it's a, well, not all. There's one later on in the recent years, you will see that, right? So now all we have to do is use this formula and get some of the first 24 terms. Emirates, are you okay with that? Elizabeth? Elizabeth, you'll follow what happened there? Okay, oh, you got that. Very good. Anybody can help me out here? What you all got for this sum? Plug in 24 on 2 by 2 by 30 plus 23 by D. How much you all got for the sum there? 2100. Yeah. Nice job, all. Nice work. Right? That's supposed to be one of the harder ones, right? Imran didn't come to the end. Beanie was here for a little bit. Mikhail missed today. Right. Okay, copy it down and let's try the next one. You all got to the next one? Sum to infinity. Finish the next one. Y'all got through the second one already? Something infinity. Yeah. Second one tricky, but it gave you a hint at bottom. Y'all reckon you'll identify the two GPs? What the question said is that this is not one GP. It's really the sum of two GPs. Anybody figured out the GPs? Pandina, you seen the GPs? So it's not one GP, it's two GPs that they put together. Seen it? Sabira? Seen it? No? All right, so I will help you if you're not seeing it. This and this going on here, my friend. Crap. If you look at the quarter, right? When you multiply the quarter by a particular value, you'll get a third term. So if you look closely here, it's not one GP. What it is a mixture of two. So what you have to do is write it something like this: 1/4 plus 1 on this, right? That's the first one. And then you're adding it to 2 1/4 squared. Right? So basically you work it out here. This is one sum to infinity. This here is a next sum to infinity. Right? So you work out one and work out the next one, then add it up. Right? Work it out separately, right? Of course, here you have A and R for the first one, A and R for the second one, then add them up. Tishwan again, sure. All right, so let's see what you got. A for this one, A for this first one here was a quarter, and when you work it out, you would have gotten R to be 116, correct? Yeah? So that would be sum to infinity is 1/4 over 1 minus 116, and you get that first answer. Next one, the first term is 2 over 16, and you'll get 1 minus 1 on 16 again. And then when you work it out, what's the first one? First one is what? 4 on 15 for the first one. And what's the next one? 2 on 15. What's the next one? 2 on 15. Check and see now. So that's 2 16s. Well, yeah, I think it's 1 16th again. So that's 15, 2 on 15 times. And when you add them up, you get 6. So the total will be 6 over 15. Is that okay with that? All right. So for the last one, you'll do the last one for